I'll call the March 26th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners to order. Someone please stand for the pledge and the invocation.
Lord, we thank you for this time together. Lord, pray that you would just watch over this meeting. Lord, pray that you keep your hand upon these commissioners. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Join us for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you ready?
You can take these walks on water.
I want to thank everyone for coming out today for our special meeting on March 26th, and appreciate y'all coming to join us to do business in Washington County. Hope everyone had a safe and happy spring break and got ready to get busy. This time I'll accept a motion to adopt today's agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Got a motion, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any non-agenda items? Agenda items. First item of business today is the Highway 79 Corridor Authority. Mr. Ted Everett.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Councilman. I'm going to see commissioners. I'm just going back and forth. Anyway, appreciate y'all having this meeting today. As you know, y'all are here to appoint a member from the Washington County Business Community to the Planning Committee. When the authority is activated in a couple of months by you guys, Holmes County and the City of Bonifay, then the Planning Committee dissolves, and the appointment that you make today will be one of the 5 members that will be the authority. They will oversee the general manager, they'll oversee his assistant, and they're basically going to be the check and balances for both of the counties in Bonifay. We've talked to several people about this appointment, and Amy Wee has said that she would be glad to take this appointment. She has all the skill sets needed, and by that I mean she's familiar with RFP, she's familiar with DOT, she's familiar with taking these projects from start to completion, which is her job at Metric Engineering. And so I would like to submit to you Amy Wee for the Washington County Board position appointment.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Miss Amy Wee for the Authority Board.
Second. I have a motion. I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Very good.
Congratulations and condolences.
I just told her she does not know what she's getting
Your
into.
life is officially.
I soft shoot it.
I bet that she has a better idea than a lot of us.
I bet she does. I'm very confident that Amy will do a great job. I've worked with Amy at the CRA and at the board level of the chamber. And Amy Wee is not shy about asking questions. She is very thoughtful in what she discusses and how she acts. I think it's an excellent selection for Washington County. I really do.
The best part about it is that Holmes County attorney gets out of the way. We got the inside track and he's straightened out.
Well, and one of the commissioners talked to him about that, and I just want to tell you that because that was discussed by Jim and I when we were going through this, especially with Amy Wee. Let me just state, our attorneys for the planning committee is neighbors Giblin and Nickerson. So there's going to be no involvement there, but everything is all good.
Absolutely.
It's all squared away.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ted, but we'll have a 5-member board every 2. The Holmes County Board County Commissioners will appoint a community leader.
Yes.
Washington County will, and the City of Bonifay will just have their commission.
That is correct.
That's what I'm.
So you'll have 2, you'll have 3 elected officials, from which we know, and then you'll have Amy in Holmes County, and he should be in attendance today as well.
That was asked by me and to me, and I just wanted to put it on record.
So when the planning committee comes to you and says, hey, we want y'all to go ahead and vote on the interlocal agreement 2, which will actually create the authority, and the planning committee folds, and the 5 people that have been appointed by the committees, by the BOCCs in the City of Bonifay, that will then become the board of the authority.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Will the general manager also be a voting member?
No, not a voting member.
That's changed then.
That's what I understand from Jim, is that person's not going to be a voting member. He'll have the day-to-day functions and everything like that.
Okay,
That'll be overseen by the board.
Because I think we wrote that in the job description based on the guidance.
I think that was changed by Jim, but we want to make sure.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, and we got to talk soon because we need to find out who is responding to those, so it's all good.
Yeah, definitely want everything clarified.
Yes.
before we can do it. Okay.
And we should be able to come before you all in the next 2 to 3 months and give you all the documentations from Neighbors and Gidlands and Nickerson and say, now we're ready to activate the authority, and then we'll move on to something else in Washington County.
Sounds great.
Chairman, while we have Mr. Everett here, I did want to bring up one item that has come up in some of the discussions with the attorney for the city of Bonifay, and I just want to make sure the board is aware of this. The financing for this is tax increment financing. The city of Bonifay does not have any property taxes, and so the city of Bonifay will not be contributing financially from the standpoint of tax increments to this authority.
Well, actually, none of the property will be in the city limits of Bonifay.
There'll be some.
Because
There'll be
city
some.
limit goes all the way to county line.
Right. And I'm not sure, but I think there's some discussion on Bonifay's part about ad valorem taxes. I've heard rumors of that. I have not been told personally, but I think that they're starting to look at a lot of things based out of what we've been working with them on for this.
But the ad valorem collected, regardless of the matter, will still be the same amount from Washington and Holmes. It'll be a
Yeah,
percentage.
the taxes do not
It'll be a
change.
percentage off the gross.
That's
Okay.
It's a sliver that comes off of the county taxes, and like in the CRA's cases, it comes out of county and the city ad valorem taxes, but no tax increase for anybody,
I understand.
nothing.
So so it's going to be a wash there. It won't necessarily be the city of
Well,
Bonifay won't have
The
skin.
city of Bonifay, if they were to implement a millage, then they actually would receive some of the property tax revenue.
That's correct.
And so there would also be a portion of that, if there's an increase in value, that would also come to the authority if they would implement taxes.
But the only thing that's going to, correct me if I'm wrong, let me just get it straight in my head. What's going to generate the financing for the authority? Say the property is valued at $100,000 now, and it goes to $250,000. That $150,000 is going to be what's going to be the part that's going to
Take out a sliver of,
Percentage of the increased tax revenue based on that increase in value.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
that's right.
If Bonifay, so it's really not going to hurt or help if Bonifay is.
If Bonifay were to implement a millage, that would be additional taxes on top of the Holmes County
That's
taxes that
right.
are already being.
That's correct.
That's right, so it's not going to affect the
No.
funding of the corridor, whether they do it or not,
And honestly, I don't think the project could move forward because they have the water and the sewer
without that.
without,
That's-
can't move forward without it.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that this board is
Yeah.
aware that they don't currently have.
I'm good with that. because it's
So
not-
all that Bonifay is going to get out of this is water rates and sewer rates. That's it. And they've been told that up front because they don't have ad valorem.
Yeah, which is a good thing for them. They're
Sure,
getting 2
well, they
miles
own the water and sewer.
Get 2 miles of water and sewer.
Sure.
For adding on to their
Sure.
services. It's a good deal all the way around.
It's a good deal for everybody.
Let's just fill it up now.
All right? Sounds good.
Okay? Got groundbreaking at 10, guys. All right, well, Ted, you speaking of the next project, I got a good project that's just out here.
No problem.
And next item on the agenda is unredeemed tax certificates.
Mr. Chairman, last meeting, if you recall, we discussed that the county holds certificates have been redeemed by the property owners, and the board discussed a value of $3,000 and over. With that, we have 6 parcels totaling $57,330. And that would be what I would recommend that we advertise on.
I'm sorry. Mr. Chairman, how many parcels?
We have 6 identified, 3,000 and over, 6 parcels.
The
And
cost,
if you look at the total, it's about 408.
the cost was just too high to go any lower than that, correct? That's why we decided
It would
for
be, it
advertising.
wouldn't be cost effective
It
to go
would
any lower.
wash out.
What did we have budgeted for that, y'all know?
I don't know.
Do you know what we had budgeted
No,
for
sir, I
that line
don't.
item?
Only for advertising or for
For the tax certificates?
to reclaim, come back in for revenue? Oh, I don't know either. Till we find out, I'm sure Mr. Clerk will get that to you.
I know last year the total was 61.5, and this year it's 57,330.
Is the board good with $3,000 level?
Yeah.
I just need a motion for that so we can move forward.
We need that money?
Yes,
I make a motion that we proceed with advertising on tax certificates of value, trade value greater than 3,000 or greater.
I'll second that motion.
All right, the motion is second. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I know we're close on that budget, but I sure would like to have that number.
I'll get it to you as soon as I get back.
Thank you.
I don't have anything on my agenda, but I do have some paperwork.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize if it's not on the agenda. It kind of came up with the Washington County Fire Association.
Okay.
2 quick items. And Rick, come on up and I'll try to walk through it real quick and you can answer any questions.
Well, right while Rick's coming up, I received a phone call over the week. I definitely want to take time and write our vendors a letter, let them know how we pay our bills in Washington County, that if it's that expect payment within 30 days, you know, it's not a daily turnaround, because it takes time to process stuff and double check stuff and so on and so forth. So, County Commissioner Administrator and Clerk's Office, if we get together and put a letter together and send that out, just so they'll know what's going on, because it's not fair to y'all for unrealistic terms we put on us, turn around our checks back to our vendors.
I make a suggestion that we put together the information about how we pay our bills and put it in a different color paper than they would normally get, but insert it in all the checks that are being sent out. Rather than making a whole separate letter, send it out with the checks as they're being sent out, and let them understand that we have 30 days to turn that.
I know exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
and a lot of it, we've been working last week to determine, a lot of it depends when we receive the invoice.
Well, we got to
And
do
is the
it.
invoice being held up on the end before it gets to us? Is it being held up after it gets to us? Because we're cutting checks twice a month. We need to improve that process, and we started working on it last week.
Well, and we'll get there, but I just want our vendors to understand.
Sure.
So it's
Good idea.
not, and if that's not acceptable terms for them, we understand that too. Some vendors can't wait 30 days, but we need to find a vendor that provides that service to move that vendor.
Yes.
But as well, I want to make sure that we're not falling behind.
Well, that's why I said it's better than 30 days.
The county's made great strides in that. We used to have, and I mentioned this to somebody the other day, we had so many late charges. And when I was signing bills, you'd have all these late charges, and I never understood it, because it wasn't like we were waiting on a check to clear. We had the money. There was no reason to wait. And we've made progress to that extent, and I know we don't have it like we used to. We had one employee that left, and we went in there cleaning his office out, and he had bills 3 and 4 months old that had never moved. They just were on his desk.
Y'all done a
You
great
know,
job.
we don't have that anymore. But at the same time, to get some of the stress off our employees, get called regularly about their checks, and just where they have an understanding, I think that's fair to everybody
To make that happen.
inform them. It's 30 days.
Yeah.
But that may not be the proper venue to bring it up, but I want the board all be unified when we say this, that to you, that if you put that letter together, and y'all both vet it, and just put it out so everybody knows what's going on.
And we stamp our invoices in when they're received.
And it's just, oh yeah. The late dates, the late charge, y'all done a great job. We have to face that as chairman. You and Charles took care of that when we got there. And we appreciate that, but it's just, if stuff's current, we just need to let our vendors know when to expect payment. I'm
But we need
sorry.
to stamp our invoices in. If that's not being done anymore, we need to resume that, because that way there we know whether we failed.
It's not always being done, but we do, and we've told them to do that.
Everyone I've got, so that's where
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
Mr. Evans has been looking at his operation closely last week and how the bills are flowing, the timeliness of it, because we get a lot of bills generated from that department, so we're gonna make sure we get this reeled in.
I got complete confidence in y'all that we took care of. All right, Mr. Kerr, what you got?
You want me to go ahead, Rick, answer some questions for me? Division of Forestry has a program, and when they surplus equipment, a lot of times this equipment's in very good shape. They have a program where it can be loaned to the county for as long as we need it for our use. And Sam and Rick went and looked at some 3 chassis, and they found 2 that would work, that they would let us use as we need to in our fire departments. Only a couple stipulations. They be painted something other than green. We maintain them, and we carry insurance on them. Both of these trucks they identified would be used for tanker trucks, one in Caravelle and one in Orange Hill.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
In addition, there was extra equipment there, same program, brand new 60 kilowatt generators, and smaller generators that can be used at each individual fire department. All that's part of the program. Same goes for them. We just maintain them. They will come and inspect the equipment once a year, but it will give us a couple of tankers in the county if it's badly needed. And Rick just wanted to bring that before the board, make sure you're aware if you're okay with it.
In the moving forward, I love this program, and we've been a part of this program for many, many years, even for all of us, actually, and it's a great program. The money that you're gonna need to expend in getting these trucks ready for the fire department use, putting tanks on them, so on and so forth, getting them painted, do you foresee needing any additional funds for that, or is that something that you plan to run out of your budgets at the different departments?
That's something that both departments for the trucks, the chassis have in their budgets. They're going to check with the vocational center. All we'll need there is to buy supplies, the students to paint it.
Is this the one that's going to Caravelle? That's the tanker that's sitting on the side of 277, this good-looking tank already?
Yes, sir. We're going to put that tank on the chassis.
I got you. That's a good idea. Good job.
And that truck that it's sitting on now will go back to Division of Forestry because it's hard to find parts for a military truck that old.
It's old.
That's a forestry truck there. It's loaned, so we're just going to swap them out.
Okay. You don't need a motion, do we? Need a motion to accept the equipment? Wouldn't hurt, okay.
So moved.
To accept
Mr. Chairman.
the, all right. Second. Got a motion and a second to accept the items that denoted in Rick's packet from the 4th Division of Forestry. I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion?
The only discussion I had, Ms. Marla, our inventory system that we have, will it pick up on these?
They will be, who will they actually belong to?
Caravelle and Windshield.
Yes, yeah, we'll get it.
So we'll pick that up,
Yes.
and through that system that we have, that'll assure that they have insurance on it.
Yes,
Right.
it will.
And
What Rick will do, he'll send me an email with all the pertinent information, and I'll add them on the same day.
Rick, I ask you to be sure to send the information of the vehicles that you're removing and give it back to Forestry so we can get them off our insurance.
Absolutely.
I don't, we rented that, we don't have the vehicles anymore, so please take care of that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Jeff, of course, I can have to, we can talk about it after. I was just wondering, what's the progress on our computer contract?
Oh, let's finish this number real quick. We got a motion.
Well, it was following the same line of thought. I was worried about the inventory.
I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I have a motion, I have a second on the matter of Washington County Fire Service. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry, wait for that.
Well, no, that's what I was getting at.
Mr. Chairman, there's one other item under fire. Oh, there's one other item under fire.
Okay.
I just want to discuss with you real quick.
All right, what you got?
The portable cascade system, which regenerates the fireman's air packs, is inoperable, and it's going to take $1,407 and some odd cents to fix it. I got it written down here.
Is this one, did we
66.
take this over from the city of Vernon?
No, sir. This is City of Vernon's Cascade.
That thing has been a mortal headache from the minute.
Now, we're talking about the one on the trail.
That's exactly right. I'm talking about the same one. I bought that thing years ago. That has been a nightmare. But we got to have it.
But what would it cost to replace the whole thing? I mean,
man.
if it's nickel and diming you to death,
It was about 68 grand.
Well, yes, sir. From my understanding, it was purchased off a grant.
It was
That's Vernon.
about 68 grand, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the big problem is it hadn't been maintained.
I do too.
It's just not being maintained properly.
Okay, is that why it was always nickel and dime stuff?
well,
Yes,
who
sir.
owns it?
We give it to the county, so our city of Vernon give it to the county, right?
No, sir.
Well, they need to. So we can take care of it. Because they don't have the funds to take care of it like they should. And it's one of them things it's a constant moving animal. You know, if you don't operate. But with the new firefighters out there, they're taking care of it probably better now.
Yes, sir. Well, Chief Owens and I spoke last week, and he mentioned that the county would take, if we could take it over. but I don't think we can under the stipulations of the grant.
That may not be. But anyways, all right.
I would like to look into that further.
Yeah, but with the firefighters down there, they're exercising it like they're supposed to now.
Yes, sir.
What happened if it just sat there? And it's like anything else that you and I will always have it in or out. If it sits there, it just.
It has an electrical and a diesel motor on that trailer, so it's breaking itself down, not using it. Now, since Chief Owens has come on as chief, he has been bringing it to large incidents to, run it if we need to refill the bottles.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it now?
It just needs maintenance, service. There's a control valve that needs to be rebuilt. It's just different things that need to be done.
Filter, air.
Well, first of all, the machine, we bought it from a company, and they're supposed to have it delivered to us within 6 weeks when we bought it. About 6 months later, we finally received ownership of it. It just was, this was just one of the white elephants that I've dealt with my whole entire political career, and I'm sure don't like seeing it come from here. I thought I got rid of it, now it's bad.
Mr. Chairman, the cost to repair this is $1,400,
Yes.
$7.66. Chiefs came together, they can scrape up $707.66.
Yeah.
And they want to know if we can approve $700 from the board from our public safety fund, which is about $74,000 in there, to help them get this back up.
I have no problem with it. It's a valuable piece of equipment when it's running right. It's something you save lives, for sure. That's why I bought it the first time.
I'll make a motion that we approve this, but number one, I'd like to look and see if we can take ownership.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I want you to really be sure.
Yes, sir.
Whether we can take ownership of it. I'd like to. Is this something that the EMS also can prosper from?
No, sir. No, sir.
This is just filling y'all's air tanks?
Yes, sir. This is not like for O2 bottles.
It's not oxygen,
No,
it's
sir.
air.
It's just compressed air for breathing apparatus.
All your local divers can benefit from it. You gotta watch out for that. I've got a motion.
So, would it be okay if I get the paperwork together and all that and turn it over to the attorney or something?
Yeah,
Let him
bring
review
it to the solicitor, okay.
Yeah.
I have a motion, I got a second by Commissioner Keenan. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anything else?
Commissioner Bush?
Oh, I was just asking about our contract for the computer technical support, because it just had it in my mind. I hadn't heard anything more about it, whether we hired that group or not, because the system that we're trying to get up and running needs that.
We hope to bring you something concrete on the 4/18 meeting.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's taken a little bit longer in checking some things out, and there's other things to consider, the timeliness. I think some of the board still feels like we need to go ahead and move forward with an IT person as well. So those are all things that need to be considered, so we want to make sure we take our time and bring something back that you can act off of in the April meeting.
Sounds like a plan. Anything else? Hearing none, I'll set that motion.
The only other comment I have on that, if we're gonna bring somebody on, of course, I don't have to come before the board then again anyway, but I'll just put it, a line of thought, if you're bringing somebody on, also think about, if you're gonna advertise a position, think about somebody that can do some of our finance work and stuff like, we don't need a finance officer, but just somebody to assist with some of our finance stuff.
Bills being paid and so on.
Yeah.
That would be an ideal situation, because we need that.
Even inventory control, some of them plugs,
We don't have to learn how to be creative.
Purchasing
in our
systems.
positions. I agree with that. I
Absolutely.
love that idea. It's,
Now, that was a shocker whenever I come on board, that the county had no inventory system. That was always a surprise to me. Our 911 backup.
Yeah, that's what's
We
really,
didn't even have it. It was gone, and it'd been gone, I guess. All the
that's
equipment
what's
for
great about
911
Active
backup
Fund,
was-
because it does
we didn't even
asset
have it.
management.
It was supposed to be in Vernon.
Then we sold it.
But I'm like, really? Seems like that'd be important enough to keep track of.
All right. Anything else, Joe?
Not for me, sir.
Anything else? Madam Clerk, you have anything? Hearing that, I was set the motion to adjourn.
So, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor? Aye.